So it's been a while since I've watched the series now, but I actually finally took the plunge into Moe. This series is Cake, Tea and Snacks. If you've seen Cake, Tea and Snacks, then you know what I'm talking about. K-On! The Light Music Club series. This is essentially, it says the complete series, but this is essentially just the first series. I know there's a second part to this and a movie, which I'm yet to see. So this is basically just my review of the first 14 episodes of said series, which follows a group of high school students, 4 high school students, and then later in the series 5 high school students, who are basically part of a light music club. Light music is basically just light-hearted music, as the name suggests. And the series protagonist, Yui Hirasawa, I believe her name is. I know her name is, yeah, Yui Hirasawa. She just joined the high school and she doesn't know what club to join because she doesn't have any particular talent. She's fairly average in terms of her skills. She's not a jack of all trades, you know, by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, she's kind of stuck as to what to do. Meanwhile, we have Ritsu, who's worrying about the Light Music Club being disbanded because they don't have enough members. They need at least 4 members to keep the club active, or else the student council will just disband the club and basically give the room to a different club that is more active. So they're desperate for members. So Ritsu tries recruiting her friend Mio, because Ritsu's a drummer. She really wants to be in a band, but Mio is kind of reluctant. They end up getting 3 members with Tsumugi. Mio is basically a really good bassist, but she's really shy, so she's very reluctant to do it. And then they get Tsumugi, who's a keyboard player. She's more the jack of all trades. She's very talented in all kind of fields. And she's super rich, so that's also a good thing. But still missing 1 member, and they can't find anybody to join. And basically, their main attraction and their main advertising campaign is to basically luring people with snacks and treats and cake and tea pies and things like that. And that's how basically Yui Hirasawa, the main character, gets wrapped up in all of this. She can't play an instrument to save her life. She even makes a joke about, oh, maybe she could play the castanets. So yeah, they really need Yui to join, even though they know that she can't play an instrument to save her life, but they need her basically just to keep the club active. So I end up luring her in with like snacks and treats. Unfortunately, that's kind of the majority of this series. Snacks and treats and moe, cute girls doing cute stuff. I mean, I knew that going into this. I really did know that. But still, I wanted it to be more music oriented. I wanted the series to kind of focus on the actual methodology of actually trying to set up a band, and actually kind of like Bakuman but for music, if you kind of get my drift, like the behind the scenes of them really trying to learn to play the instruments and setting up and writing songs and material. I mean, you do get to see a little bit of that, but just not enough for what the show essentially advertises. Don't get me wrong, I like the show. I really like the show. I love the animation. This is the first series from Kyoto Animation that I've seen, and the animation style was just amazing. Fluid, just the girls are very cute, very likable, but quite shallow and wafer thin in terms of who they are as characters themselves. They basically just serve to be cute, and that's kind of the main appeal of this series. Will I continue with the second series? Absolutely, I will. I will also watch the movie because I heard the movie is actually quite good as they go to London, which is really interesting. Obviously, I'm in England. I'm very familiar with British and England. I've been to London many times, but it's my country, so that'd be pretty cool. You don't really get to see a lot of anime set in anywhere outside of Japan, which is especially England. I mean, I'd like to see that. But I digress. This is a good series, don't get me wrong. I did enjoy it, but just not enough music. Too much sweet little music. The music that was in the show was very good. I very much liked the opening and the closing songs for this series, and all the music in between. I genuinely do feel like the music was very well put together in this series, and that the girls worked very well in the band together. As the animation really does keep the show alive for me. If this was just kind of like an average animated show, I probably would have lost interest quite fast. As 14 episodes, there's not really much that happens. You have the kind of stereotypical beach episodes and training episodes, and lots of tea, lots of cake, lots of snacks, but just very little substance, which is quite a disappointment. Even though I knew essentially what I was getting into, as this is kind of like the hallmark of the moe genre, today, as I'm aware. What else really can I say about this series? The voice actors. I watched this in Japanese. I had to watch this in Japanese. I tried watching it in English, but it really didn't work for me. I couldn't really stomach the English voice actresses, which is quite rare for me because I do actually I do prefer watching anime in English, because I like to appreciate the animation. Obviously I'm an artist, so I'm a very visual. I'm very visually motivated, which is why I prefer watching anime first in English. But I did not like the English dub for this, which is why from the very beginning I just continued watching it in Japanese, which also helped because all the songs are sung in Japanese, even in the English dub. The songs are still maintained in Japanese, which would have been very jarring for me if I'm watching something in English dub, and all of a sudden they're singing in different voices, which are clearly the Japanese VAs. So I'm glad I stuck with the decision to carry with the Japanese dub, the Japanese original dub track for this, as the voice acting performances are very good, very believable. The voices matched the personalities of the girls, as the girls have very distinct personalities. Like Yui is the airhead, Tsumugi is the sensible, reserved one. Ritsu is the wild child, very typical of drummers. She's fire, she's energetic, she's she's very enthusiastic. And then there's Mio, who is the very shy one, and quite introverted, and very easily embarrassed. Negatives about the series is the introduction of a new character, Azia, who was basically a year younger than these girls. She comes in the second year. She's a friend of Yui's younger sister, and she's fantastic at guitar. But I just thought her introduction to the group was unneeded. I didn't feel that they needed an extra member of the group, and she also felt superimposed in relation to literally superimposed. If you see the amended opening to the series, when she's in it, she's literally superimposed just into the old opening, which I really didn't appreciate. And I just felt her character just wasn't needed. There was too much moe in the show already. There's too much cuteness, and just to add another cute character who doesn't really have her own individual personality set aside from the other girls. So like her thing, obviously Yui's the airhead, Ritsu's the wild child, Mio's the introvert, Tsumugi's the sensible one, Azuya is the cute one. All the girls are cute. We don't need a girl who is just cute. She needed something else, and she just didn't deliver that. So yeah, I didn't really like Azuya's character. The cute moments with her, yeah, they were cute, but it's just sickly sweet, and it was like putting sugar with sugar. It just makes it too sweet. But for all the negatives that I'm giving this series, it was enjoyable. I will continue with it, definitely. I mean, it's K-On! I've heard so much about it in the past. Everybody saying, oh, it's just tea and cake. So I knew what I was going into, but because the animation was so good and the voice actors were so good, and the characters were quite likable, I did want it to be more than what it was. And I wanted it to be more music oriented, as really and truly you don't really get to see the girls perform that much. There's very little time in the series where the girls actually perform, whether it be on stage or even just band practice. You don't really get to see much of that, and you tend to find a lot of the time the girls actually just want to goof off. Even if there's no tea and cakes involved, and they do actually get to a point like Mio's like, come on guys, we need to practice, we'll go on a vacation, we'll go and practice. So just want to kind of goof off. Hence the beach episode, where that's supposed to be like, a training, band session. So yeah, K-On! An enjoyable series, but you know, only watch it if you know what you're going into. I wouldn't really go into this blind. I would definitely research this, you know, kind of obviously avoiding spoilers and things like that before you go into this, as it is something that I feel could easily disappoint people if you're not necessarily going into this just to appreciate the animation, or you're not a fan of the moe genre, or, you know, the moe kind of phenomenon already. So yeah, that's my review of K-On! I guess you could say season 1. Season 2 is, it says complete series 2, it's in a green box, and then there's the movie, so I will be getting that. So yeah, as is standard, drop me your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you another time.